A cracker.
Really well done.
Indeed. Thanks for your company as always. Look forward to seeing you next time on The Chase Australia.
Tonight in 7 News, ASIO raids a Labor MP's home in a China links probe. The major spy agency investigation.
Virgin Australia's new owner revealed the plan for a Queensland base, your points and flights.
Queensland's COVID task force set up to prevent a second wave as panic buying sets in down south and supermarkets reintroduce limits.
The school holidays begin. Crowds line up at SeaWorld. Tourism bosses encouraged by strong bookings.
No mortgage payments for a year. The new deal for new homes.
Australia.
And Brisbane to play a major role when Australia and New Zealand host the Women's Football World Cup in 2023.
Live from Brisbane, 7 News with Sharyn Ghidella and Max Futcher.
Good evening. A major spy agency investigation is underway tonight after ASIO and federal police raided the home of a Labor MP.
The Joint Task Force is hunting for evidence of links to the Chinese government amid claims of foreign interference in Australian politics.
He's an outspoken champion of the Chinese regime, but today, not a peep from Shaket Mosselmain.
Thank you. Thanks, gents.
The focus of a joint ASIO and federal police raid on his Rockdale home in Sydney's south, leaving in one car with his lawyer as forensic investigators search another, a joint task force investigating claims of foreign political interference. The Lebanese-born MP's sister and her father-in-law with front row seats on a neighbouring terrace.
My brother's been to China. Yeah, I think a lot of people have been to China. There's nothing wrong with going to China.
And the suggestions that he may have colluded with China?
No, nothing.
Mr Mosselmain driving to his New South Wales Parliament office as investigators searched another car outside his home, finding notes and Labor membership forms. His brother claiming a conspiracy.
It's very clear, the Zionism and the racism is working against Mr Shaukat Mosselmain. Labour Party in his heart.
But he's not in Labor's.
His membership is being suspended as we speak.
Already punted as assistant president of New South Wales's upper house over an advisor's links to a Beijing propaganda unit, and this praising China's coronavirus response.
Can I just say that the Chinese government should be commended for the immediate action that it took. I actually heard Xi Jinping speak about this.
On one of 9 visits to China, partly funded by President Xi's regime, he slammed Australia's foreign interference laws. Today, Shaket Mosselmain is their most high-profile target.
We won't cop anyone coming and seeking to interfere in our political system.
No charges have been laid, but intelligence sources tell 7 News the investigation will take some time and could broaden. ASIO Chief Mike Burgess warned earlier this year that foreign actors found breaking our laws would be named and shamed.
If you intend to conduct espionage or foreign interference against Australia, ASIO and our partners will be hunting you.
And today, the hunting party set out.
And Mark Riley has more on the implications for federal Labor.
It does, Max. It's certainly another hit to Labor's reputation and its electoral brand following the branch stacking scandal in Victoria, and it comes in the shadows of the Eden Monero by-election. Labor's Shadow Attorney-General Mark Dreyfus says Labor takes foreign interference seriously and says it should be investigated free of any political interference. Read into that what you like. And of course, it further complicates our relationship with China after allegations of cyber hacking, trade sanctions and bogus travel warnings. Things between the two countries aren't too good at the moment, and this certainly won't improve that.
Mark Riley reporting there. Virgin Australia has a new owner after a deal was struck with US company Bain Capital. The multi-billion-dollar firm has committed to keeping the airline's headquarters in Brisbane.
Just as Cyrus Capital revealed negotiations had stalled, rival bidder Bain confirmed its takeover of Virgin Australia.
The administrators of the company announcing that they have entered into a sale and implementation deed with Bain Capital.
The US investment giant hasn't revealed what it paid for the airline, but it has announced some terms, promising to protect as many jobs as possible, honour customers' existing travel credits and continue the Velocity Rewards program. An agreement Virgin's CEO has welcomed in a statement saying, "This is a great day for Virgin Australia and a huge milestone. We know they are committed to investing in the airline and we are thrilled to be working with them into the future." The big question now is how many Virgin jobs will be lost. The restructure will involve streamlining the airline at a time when aviation is plagued by uncertainty and restrictions.
The federal government needs to bring forward its review of the JobKeeper system.
A plea echoed by Qantas after the airline axed 6,000 staff.
We've asked the Prime Minister and the Treasurer to look at an extension of JobKeeper or other form of support.
Virgin is now focusing obviously on the domestic operations, and the domestic operations have a much more positive outlook than the international operations.
Virgin's sale will be finalised when creditors meet again in August. Christy Mayer, 7 News.
A state-run task force will ramp up compliance checks to prevent a second wave of coronavirus in Queensland. The operation, prompted by Victoria's outbreak and announced as Queensland records its first new case in 8 days.
Sent to Papua New Guinea to help mitigate COVID, one Australian soldier is now Queensland's latest case. It's understood he was infected at Murray Barracks in Port Moresby 3 weeks ago, but has only just flown home to Brisbane, leaving the neighbouring nation on alert.
PNG Defence Force personnel, including their families at Murray Barracks, are in a 14-day lockdown.
The Brisbane man's one of 2 active cases in Queensland, better than Victoria, with 30 new cases overnight.
Well, we see what happens when you drop the ball.
The government calling for compliance from the 2,800 Queenslanders in quarantine.
Don't think we're not watching you.
From Monday, a task force of police and public servants will lead a crackdown. Backpackers and farm workers in Wide Bay are on notice.
And anyone that we think's at risk of not complying, we'll be targeting them.
Infringement notices for individuals carry a pricey penalty, $1,334. Already in Queensland, 2,111 have been issued. Premises will be subject to more random checks everywhere from pubs to restaurants and Sunday markets.
This can be the difference between whether we can contain COVID going forward or not.
As businesses bleed $17 million a day.
Clarity is exactly what they've been asking for. Businesses aren't a light switch.
Unable to turn on without a firm date on borders reopening, but told more changes could come. Today's National Cabinet meeting agreeing small premises can drop the 4 and adopt the 2 square metre rule, allowing more people to gather. Still no word if or when Queensland will implement the change. Tom Hartley, 7 News.
Police believe one man could be linked to 3 assaults on women on Brisbane's north side. The offender is on the run, leaving Tagham residents fearing for their safety.
June Dixon won't walk on her own after a man who is believed to look like this assaulted a woman on the Cabbage Tree Creek walking tracks.
Because I go every day, I'm absolutely terrified. I stopped walking at one stage because I was scared.
But Arnie James doesn't have a choice. She doesn't drive.
I feel safe from the bus stop, but in here I run. I don't feel safe from the bridge to here.
There are no street lights.
So you can't see anyone even if they walk straight past you, pitch black. Like, should I have my keys in my hand? Like, it's like a self-defence thing or something like that. It's definitely crossed my mind.
A man also exposed himself to a woman on the Cabbage Tree Creek bike path in Fitzgibbon on June 21. The latest incident took place on June 24. A man followed a woman in Castledine between Dorval and Cowie Roads. Police are now investigating whether these 3 incidents are linked and are asking anyone who may have had a similar experience to contact them.
I am scared of people. I really am scared of people, and to have it this close to home just makes it that much worse.
Isabel Mullen, 7 News.
The family of murdered mother Karen Gilliland have bravely thanked the Rockhampton community. The 42-year-old was allegedly stabbed to death by her estranged husband on Tuesday night. Today, her heartbroken parents and brother acknowledged the brave work of emergency services.
The police support has been incredible. The 3 kids are with us now and they are our only focus and priority.
If you or anyone you know is experiencing domestic violence, please call DV Connect on 1800 811 811.
A coroner has found the driver who caused the deadly cafe blast in Ravenshoe knew he was unfit to hold a licence but continued to get behind the wheel. The findings of a lengthy inquest were handed down in Cairns this morning.
Could this have been avoided? It was June 9, 2015 when the Ravenshoe Cafe exploded, killing 37-year-old Nicole Nyholt and 82-year-old Margaret Clark. 17 others were injured.
We'll always remember what has happened.
Brian Scutt crashed his ute into the cafe and hit 2 gas cylinders after suffering a seizure. It's the day Colleen Clark lost her mum.
She was a very special woman.
A coroner found Mr Scutt was medically unfit to hold a driver's licence due to a history of seizures dating back more than a decade.
I always knew that he should not have been driving.
But he repeatedly ignored advice from doctors, family and friends. A coroner also finding his GP, Dr Ken Connolly, failed to fulfil his professional duty and notify the Department of Transport. It looms large that had Mr Scutt's licence been suspended or revoked in 2014 or medical conditions endorsed on his licence, he may not have been driving on the day of the explosion. Yet even without a licence, the inquest found it may never have stopped him from getting behind the wheel. He died before the inquest started, so did his GP. The coroners recommended a task force be established to help improve the way doctors report to authorities, with the hope communities are better protected in the future. Marlena Wapp, 7 News.
Queensland is playing host to an historic tournament of firsts, with the Women's World Cup coming to Australia and New Zealand in 2023. Suncorp Stadium is tipped to host a semi-final, generating millions in tourism dollars and more momentum to Queensland's bid for the 2032 Olympic Games.
An anxious wait that ended with the words Australia's football fraternity were aching to hear.
Which will be Australia. Yeah!
History made, elevating not only Australian football but women's sport to new heights.
We did it! Come on!
When I first started in the Matildas, we could barely get a home Matildas friendly match, and now we're going to be hosting the biggest tournament for women's football.
Each state hosting matches with the final played in Sydney, Queensland firmly in the spotlight.
Right here at Suncorp Stadium, we're hoping to host the semi-final, one of 9 games that will be played here in Queensland.
For younger players, proof dreams do come true.
I've dreamed of it since I started playing football. Somewhere like Suncorp is just a great way to have the crowd cheering for you.
There's going to be over 1 billion people, and there's only 7 billion people in the world, and they're going to be watching football being played on our shores. It's going to be magnificent.
And with international focus once again on the Sunshine State, it's expected this will add even more momentum to a Queensland Olympics bid.
It would absolutely be a feather in our cap to put on a great World Cup in 2023, leading into the Olympics in 2032.
A hat-trick Queensland is hoping to pull off. Katrina Blowers, 7 News.
An LNP candidate accused of abandoning her former Outback council by working remotely during a flood is at the centre of a new controversy. 7 News can reveal Fiona Gaskey is still holding a board role overseeing remote southwest hospitals, despite living on Bribie Island.
The LNP Pummerstone candidate hits the high notes. But Labor says Fiona Gaskey is out of tune with community expectations.
She abandoned them when they needed her during the flood, and now she's abandoned them when they needed her during the pandemic.
Miss Gaskey remains on the South West Health Service Board, overseeing Outback hospitals over 1,000 kilometres from her new Banksia Beach home.
It's a skills-based board, it's not based on geography.
She moved in February, pocketing her deputy mayor pay until March 28. But tonight we can reveal...
There's a second verse.
And a second salary. The ex-speech pathologist took unpaid leave from her $42,000 health board job on May 15, when the LNP unveiled her candidacy. Before taking leave, she attended all board meetings, some remotely.
A number of board members are located in the southeast region.
And defends now leaving the board without her skills mid-pandemic.
Because I wanted to commit myself to this community.
Labor says she can't commit to both.
Clearly she's hedging her bets.
Miss Gasky says she offered to resign, but the chair told her she only had to take unpaid leave.
If I was to become the member of Pumicestone, I would resign from the board.
Deb Frecklington backed Miss Gasky over the floods, but ultra-marginal Pumicestone is a must-win, or more than one political career may end.
Oh, Daddy boy, I love you so.
Patrick Lyons, 7 News.
A Gold Coast woman jailed for killing her 4-year-old son will face a new sentence hearing later this year. Heidi Strabach was sentenced to 9 years jail after pleading guilty to the manslaughter of Tyrell Cobb in 2009. In March, she successfully appealed that decision in the High Court. The new sentence hearing is expected to last at least 3 days in August. The state's tourism industry turned a corner today, buoyed by a strong school holiday forecast and the reopening of major attractions. SeaWorld was the first theme park to welcome a long queue of Queenslanders who couldn't wait to get back.
It was a grand reopening. A standing ovation for the first guests through the gates in more than 3 months.
I'm so excited right now.
It's good to be back in here.
And more than 2,000 staff back to work.
The mood is fantastic, it really is. And it's just a wonderful thing to walk around and just see people. People are excited.
SeaWorld, Paradise Country and the Currumbin Wildlife Sanctuary all back open today with reduced capacity and strict COVID rules.
That's really positive for us to be able to open this next chapter.
But the eve of school holidays delivered some welcome news. Almost half of Queenslanders will holiday close to home and spend an estimated $1 billion.
Absolutely, and it's great to stay in Queensland and keep the money in Queensland.
Destination Gold Coast says the tourist city is also on the rebound, with June showing a last-minute boost in accommodation bookings.
We expect to see a real bumper school holiday season to re-inject money back into our tourism businesses.
We will rebuild stronger and better than ever.
Movie World and Wet n Wild will reopen on July 15, while tourism on the Sunshine Coast is also firing up. Caloundra's observation wheel has gone full circle, reopening today after standing dormant since March.
It's great to be able to come and do something more local and see what beautiful views Queensland has to offer.
Amanda Abate, 7 News.
Petrol prices are starting to rise across the southeast just as school holidays begin. Brittany Lane, when should motorists fill up?
Fill up now is the advice for all Brisbane motorists. Here in Bulimba, there is some of the cheapest petrol in offer, sitting at $1.10. But already this afternoon, there's been around 30 petrol stations that have hiked up their price, some as high as $1.45. Now, if you're one of the many Queenslanders hitting the road this weekend for school holidays, the RACQ is advising to fill up tonight and will quickly whilst there's some cheap deals still in offer.
Thanks, Brittany. Now for a quick look at the weather, here's Bertie.
Hey, thanks for that, Maxie. Good evening to everybody. It was a beautiful day today. Of course, as soon as that sun goes down, we could really start to get quite brisk. Have a look at everybody in the city this morning waking up to those cooler temperatures, obviously with that southwesterly breeze blowing through. Now, good news, that wind will turn more to the southeast over the coming days. So we'll see the temperatures lifting overnight, and a little bit of cloud cover will also push it back to double digits as we move in towards Sunday. Today's temperatures held steady around 20 to 21 degrees across most coastal suburbs. Warmest was felt in the city with a high of 23. I'll be back a little bit later with the full weekend weather wrap. I'll see you there.
Thank you, Bertie. It seems madness is returning to our supermarkets. New limits when you go grocery shopping, what you need to know for your next shop.
A dramatic crash landing, how the pilot walked away unharmed.
What happened to social distancing, how sunseekers sparked an emergency incident in the UK.
And before weather, the latest twist in the Gold Coast buried cash mystery.
Seven News, brought to you by Industry Superfunds.
I suddenly realized we're all in this together.
That feels especially true, given what's going on. It is good to know that our super will help us and our economy bounce back. And if you're with one of these, your super is invested in things that create jobs and keep Aussie businesses strong, delivering good long-term returns that benefit all of us. After all,
we're all in this together.
Behind their smiles,
cheers, guys.
They're plotting to take her down for good.
It's time to get rid of her.
She's getting ready for the ultimate double cross. But whose last supper will it be?
Angela's exactly where we want her to be.
Bon appetit.
Can she survive TV's biggest week?
Yeah, it's game on.
Oh la la.
Big Brother's Last Supper, Sunday at 7 on 7. The Nick Scali half-yearly clearance ends Sunday. Hurry to save on quality furniture for your entire home. The Nick Scali half-yearly clearance ends Sunday. Hurry.
Julia, how was your vacation? Oh, you've had a
Yes, I've had an epic reminder done for Aldi's special buys.
Turn your face into an epic reminder for this Saturday and get work boots for $34.99, a high-vis jacket for $39.99 and a wet-dry vacuum for $69.99. Only at Aldi. Good. Different.
Cairns and Great Barrier Reef is good to go. Get return flights, 3 nights, breakfast, transfers and more, all from just $590. Book now at myqueensland.com.au.
The Nick Scali half-yearly clearance ends Sunday. Hurry to save on quality furniture for your entire home. The Nick Scali half-yearly clearance ends Sunday. Hurry.
There's only one thing to look for. Choose a super fund with this symbol.
We're all in this together.
It seemed the days of panic buying were long gone, but fears of a second coronavirus outbreak have proven otherwise. Supermarket giants are reinstating shopping limits on toilet paper and paper towels across all stores as demand for the rolls begins to grow once again. Customers will face a 2-pack limit at Woolworths stores. It's even stricter at Coles. Just 1 pack can be purchased.
3 months into one of the world's longest lockdowns, patience is fraying in Britain. These were the scenes at popular beaches as thousands escaped lockdown, a local mayor describing it as appalling and irresponsible, leaving doctors concerned about a resurgence in coronavirus cases.
Not Bondi, but Brighton and Bournemouth on the English south coast. Thousands of people packing the beach on the UK's hottest day of the year. 33 degrees in Britain. That's a heat wave. And social distancing has gone out the window.
Oh, I think it's nice because we've been stuck in for so long. I just feel like it's something else to do.
Feels like corona isn't really a thing now, but obviously it is.
Another 149 people have died from coronavirus in Britain in just the last 24 hours. Pubs and cafes are still closed.
There's enough distance between everyone else, so there's no real issues as such in terms of social distancing. Yeah, it absolutely seems fine.
The local council disagreed, declaring a major incident, telling people to go home. Health chiefs warning on Twitter, if we do not follow social distancing guidance, then cases will rise again.
Lockdown fatigue coupled with the hot weather is fueling unrest here in South London too, where people have turned on police.
In Brixton, makeshift weapons were used to smash a police car. It began as an illegal street party. Police officers battled for control, but eventually gave up. 22 officers were injured, 4 people arrested. In London, Hugh Whitfield, 7 News.
Victims of deceased pedophile billionaire Jeffrey Epstein are now eligible for a slice of his estate. The Jeffrey Epstein Victims Compensation Fund opened for claims today, and lawyers for more than 100 women have already made contact. His estate will pay out an estimated $914 million, designed to limit court proceedings which could drag on for years. The Epstein Fund is being run by the same administrator who presided over the September 11 Victims Fund.
Dramatic video out of California captures a pilot's nasty crash landing. He was attempting to bring his home-built kit plane into the local airport, but ended up cartwheeling across the field beside it. Incredibly, this is him just moments later, barely injured in the cockpit. He told rescuers he just had some aches and pain and feels extremely lucky, as you would after surviving that.
Sure is. He's the serial speedster putting lives on the line behind the wheel. Next, a 7 News exclusive, how he was even allowed back on the road.
A former student jailed for a fire at his old school on the Gold Coast.
No more queues or waiting in line at the bar, the new way to order at southeast restaurants.
And after sport, the new real estate deal, too good to refuse. No mortgage for a year.
$488,000 buried in a suburban backyard. The most bizarre money pit discovery and how this squatter holds all the cards in the race to claim it. The new twist, who owns the buried $500,000 on 7 News, coming up.
I feel that I have aged so much. I need help.
I feel I'm invisible.
They all wish they felt 10 years younger.
Just need to get back to being the person that I was so proud to be once.
There's no going back.
Okay. In just 10 days, their lives will be transformed for good.
Oh my God.
The most heartwarming, life-changing show of the year.
Oh my goodness me.
10 years younger in 10 days. Monday after Big Brother on 7.
Now is the time. Time to stop waiting and start making it happen. Time to take the future into your hands. So drop the remote and pick up some new skills. Learn online with industry experts at Queensland's largest training provider. Go from a world of uncertainty to the world at your feet. Find a course online and see where TAFE can take you.
What am I looking forward to? Well, I just really want what I have today.
The more life changes, the more you know what's important. MLC.
If you're experiencing abuse or domestic violence, contact 1-800-RESPECT for free, confidential advice and counselling, online and by phone 24/7. There's no place for abuse or domestic violence. Help is here. Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
The Nick Scarley half-yearly clearance ends Sunday. Hurry to save on quality furniture for your entire home. The Nick Scarley half-yearly clearance ends Sunday. Hurry.
Hi, Peter. What can I get you?
Just some beef mince, please.
Just some beef mince. Tell me, was Bradman just a cricketer, Peter?
Don Bradman was a great...
I hear, Bill.
Did Kate just do a spot of telly?
And I suppose your mum Denise makes just a bolognese.
Peter, Mum. Okay. I'll have some beef mince, please.
Great choice. Because...
Our beef's the greatest meat on earth.
We're back. Scores are level, so it's still anybody's game. There's the tap. Looks it out. Oh, sells the candy. Heads into it open. Goal and drops it. Oh, that's gotta hurt. That's the stuff nightmares are made of.
Getting back on the road is something we're all looking forward to, and Toyota is here to help you do just that. With a range of finance options like offering a $1,500 finance deposit bonus across selected models.
Get Kluger GX Auto from $41,990, drive away and receive your $1,500 finance deposit bonus with Toyota Finance.
Like to know more? Go to toyota.com.au.
Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
A serial speedster has lost his licence for the 4th time and he's not even 30. The Gold Coast man escaping a jail sentence after he was caught driving on a disqualified licence twice in a matter of minutes.
Antonio Savage was one day away from legally being allowed to drive again, but he just couldn't wait.
Did you think you were going to get away with it, mate?
Get away with what?
Around midnight on November 30, 2019, police were overtaken on the M1 at Holland Park West by a speeding Savage, clocked at 146 kilometres an hour.
A reminder that people should not drive whilst disqualified because of the danger to other road users and the public in general.
Yet the prosecution today said when Savage was stopped and questioned, he claimed he couldn't recall being in court when he was disqualified 6 months earlier. Savage was told to leave his car here and find another way home, but when officers returned later, the vehicle was gone. A check of security cameras revealing he'd driven off just 9 minutes after being handed a court order.
Coming to court is of course a very important way of learning a harsh lesson.
He's been plenty of times before. In 2016, Savage was found not guilty of speeding because this Polaire vision alone couldn't prove it. Still, the self-employed security consultant's 5-page driving history is damning. Before he even held a licence, he was breaking road rules. In 13 years, he's been caught drink driving, using his mobile, running red lights, unlicensed 5 times, speeding 16. Total fines, almost $15,000.
Do you think you've learned your lesson now?
Escaping this morning with a 3-month suspended sentence and $1,500 fine.
How will you be getting around?
After losing his licence again for 3 years.
Have a good day, guys.
Mac Lyon, 7 News.
Moreton Bay residents will pay an extra 2% on their rates after the council handed down a record budget. The region will spend $30 million more than last year to help stimulate the economy post-pandemic. On average, rates notices will increase by $31.
Coronavirus hit the US campaign trail today as President Donald Trump and his challenger Joe Biden tangled over the handling of the pandemic. The country's top virologist warns case numbers could be 10 times higher than reported, making masks the current political football.
4 months to the election, Donald Trump and rival Joe Biden were in key battleground states, each putting a different face on the coronavirus crisis.
Deaths are down. We have one of the lowest mortality rates. We've done an incredible, historic job.
He's like a child who can't believe this has happened to him. And his job isn't to whine about it. His job is to do something about it, to lead.
Biden boosted by new polls showing him leading in 6 crucial states, which helped Donald Trump win in 2016 as the virus numbers worsen, especially in California, Florida, Texas, where today the governor paused reopening. New research predicts 60,000 more COVID deaths here in the US by October, but it also says that more than half of those deaths could be prevented if people were required to wear masks.
The only option that we have right now is to order masks in public.
But calls to cover up have polarised this country, a local sheriff rejecting a statewide order to wear them.
Don't be a sheep.
And a push to require masks in Palm Beach, Florida, sparked outrage.
This is a planned demic. This is totally political, and you know it.
That mask is killing people.
I don't wear a mask for the same reason I don't wear underwear. Things gotta breathe.
The vote for masks passed unanimously. In the United States, Paul Kanak, 7 News.
Contactless dining is becoming the new normal in the hospitality industry, with many Brisbane pubs and restaurants utilising mobile technology. No more queues or waiting at the bar. Instead, customers can get a beer and a burger without leaving their seat.
Scan, tap and go, the new normal of ordering.
It's made us much more efficient in the way we operate, a lot easier for us to open with it, and it's worked for us really well.
River Bar and Kitchen on Eagle Street Pier, just one of the many venues around Brisbane, adapting with technology.
You can tap on and go if you like.
Customers learning quickly.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's pretty easy.
But forgetting one crucial step.
It's just unfortunate I left my phone today,
Howard Smith Wharf's reopened last week with the entire dining precinct now using the technology.
It's a fun thing, it's a bit of a novelty, it's super easy to use.
And with big benefits, no more queuing at the bar, touching a bill or even leaving your seat. Everything done at the touch of your finger.
Cuts down the lineups and I get my beer quicker.
Despite most businesses starting contactless
outlets dining due to COVID restrictions, it could be the way of the future, with many restaurants saying it's here to stay.
I think it's going to revolutionise the hospitality industry.
But for a few, it will take some getting used to.
Yeah, we'll stick to the old school way, I think.
Brittany Lane, 7 News.
Printing presses across Queensland are about to roll for the last time. The final days of some of the state's oldest newspapers.
The virtual Full Monty, a controversial photographer, reveals his latest naked truth.
And the Southeast developer offering to pay your mortgage for a year.
Derelict dump transformed to sustainable and spectacular.
Wow, this is awesome.
How this tiny block delivers space.
Where are we going?
Energy savings and so many surprises.
You will not believe what they've done with this house.
Your sneak peek inside on New Better Homes. Next up on 7.
Don't forget, everything you buy before June 30 could be tax deductible.
Did you say everything?
Everything? Everything?
Yes, everything you buy before June 30 could be tax deductible.
There's two things I know in life, I'm confident to say. Two things. One is coffee. The other,
What'd you forget?
I forgot.
Introducing Victoria Coffee's new range of aluminium capsules. 18 locally roasted blends and single origins designed to fit your Nespresso machine.
This is Sunny. Sunny is a volunteer maths tutor. With inspiring people like Sunny, Origin has supported over 62,000 students through its foundation and education programs. Origin, powered by good energy.
The Nick Scali half-yearly clearance ends Sunday. Hurry to save on quality furniture for your entire home. The Nick Scali half-yearly clearance ends Sunday. Hurry.
At Rest, we're always working to protect your super. We keep our fees low so more of your money stays where it belongs, in your super. It's part of our commitment to you.
You're relying on our network more, so we're accelerating the rollout of Telstra 5G, giving more people and businesses access to fast download speeds in more places than ever.
Celtos. Duh.
At Harvey Norman, stay connected, productive and secure with Windows 10. You can count on Windows 10 wherever you are. Fast and powerful, this HP Pavilion laptop features the latest 10th Gen i5 processor. Now, $888, you save $200. Weighing less than 1 kilo, this Acer Swift 5 laptop features built-in security with Windows Hello to keep you protected. Now just $1,498, that's a saving of $900. Stay connected, productive and secure with Windows 10. Now at Harvey Norman.
Go!
The finance and the share market has finished the week strongly, closing 1.5% higher. The ASX 200 adding 86 points. Coles and Woolworths are up as limits on essential items resume at all Australian stores. While Qantas shares tumbled after completing a $1.36 billion placement. The Australian dollar is steady, buying 68 US cents, and petrol prices are starting to hike back up, but there's still plenty of cheap fuel available. The average price for unleaded in Brisbane is $1.11. The ringleader behind a devastating blaze at a Gold Coast school 4 years ago will serve the next 6 months behind bars. Paul Hamstra pleaded guilty to lighting the fire that destroyed an entire block at St Andrew's Lutheran College on Anzac Day in 2016, and another fire at a playground 5 days earlier. He had been on bail since being charged 2 years ago, but a judge labelled his actions as calculated and reckless and sentenced him to 3 years jail. Stop the press, a phrase synonymous with newspapers, now a sad reality facing the industry. By Monday, many regional publications across the state will no longer be printed, costing jobs and forcing readers online.
The front page of the Morning Bulletin, the day Lyle and Gladys Shortley tied the knot ever since they've bought a daily paper.
I haven't got through it today. I don't think I've opened it.
Yes, you have.
But that's no longer an option.
Very disappointing, won't it? We'll have to find some way of getting the news.
Rockhampton's Local, one of more than 30 mastheads across Queensland that won't be printed, most instead going online.
The actual archiving of our history and the representation of our community in a print form stops today, and that's very, very sad.
The Courier Mail will run more regional content, but 15 community papers have been axed, including the Gold Coast Sun. While there's disappointment at the loss of so many local titles, some people embracing the change may surprise you. Like 110-year-old Dexter Kruger, Australia's oldest man, now also the country's oldest digital news subscriber.
Don't give up. Keep your mind active.
Adapting to technology and the times. Emily Arnold, 7 News.
A world-famous photographer, best known for capturing large groups of naked people, has been forced to mix up his methods due to restrictions. Spencer Tunick's latest project involved swapping backdrops of famous landmarks for people's homes and taking screenshots instead of pictures.
We had Australians from all over the country posing together, making art in these times of COVID.
The work celebrates health workers and highlights the struggles of isolation without loved ones. Coming up, mortgage-free for a year. Is it a deal too good to refuse? And the fight over a secret stash of cash unearthed on the Gold Coast. We have new developments.
And plenty to talk about in sport tonight, Pat.
Mostly good, Sharyn, too. Hello, everyone. Coming up, the supercars are about to fire up. Jeff Horn's Fury under siege. The Broncos desperate for a kill against their M1 rivals. And football delight, the Matildas to host the World Cup as Liverpool snaps a 30-year drought.
Peter Falconio was shot by a gunman who attempted to abduct his girlfriend Joanne Lees.
They found the killer.
He was the murderer.
Or did they? The murder you thought was solved.
34 inconsistencies.
It's what you don't know that will shock the world.
No one doubts me.
I couldn't believe this had never seen the light of day.
The event that will make world headlines.
We are going to be very unpopular.
Murder in the Outback this July on 7.
Hey Mum, what are we having for dinner? I don't know. What are you cooking?
Get your Woolies worth with great specials like Steggles Family Roast Whole Chicken, just $2.75 a kilo. That's half price.
That's why I pick Woolies.
So what did you end up getting?
I bought a Jeep.
You bought a Jeep?
Mm-hmm. And so did over 100,000 other Australians. But for some, owning a Jeep wasn't as enjoyable as driving one, which is why Jeep have now committed to cap price servicing and more dedicated technical specialists. So every driver is looked after. What do you think of that, Michael?
Oh, man.
Want to sell something for instant cash? We're open. Looking to buy from a huge range of quality second-hand goods for less? We're open. Cash Converters. Find us online or visit us in store.
With RACQ Home and Contents Insurance, you know you're covered for damage from storm, fire, flood and theft. There's more for members of RACQ. Buy online now and save up to $75.
Did someone say KFC? Is that yours?
No. Happy birthday.
Actually.
Get your kids their first phone at Optus. Visit us in-store today.
Life's changed for all of us, but Bupa's here to help. Because you shouldn't put your health on hold. Because you're going out less, we'll help you at home. And Because a little advice can go a long way. Because you can't always go far, we're going further to give you the support you need. Bupa, because life happens.
The King Living Australian Design Sale is on now. Retreat this winter with award-winning designs.
So why buy ordinary furniture when you can come home to King Furniture?
Hurry now and save up to 50%.
This sport report brought to you by Tab. Long may we play.
This year's M1 Derby is a battle of survival, 14th versus 16th. Brisbane's on a 4-game losing streak with the coach under siege, but Broncos enforcer Tavita Pangai says he may have left Red Hill if not for Anthony Seibold.
Players today repeating the message they must make reality tomorrow. Tom Dearden lacing up for his first game of football at any level in more than a year, among the rising Red Hill talent that could make or break their coach's tenure. But he has key support from Pangai Jr., who is confused by reports Seibold's lost the playing group.
Definitely, he's one of the big reasons why I re-signed him. So I don't think I don't know, that's news to me.
Hopeful close friend David Fafita follows suit and ignores overtures from tomorrow's on-field rivals, the Titans.
He's a great player, and there's going to be a lot of talk about him until he decides what he wants to do next year, that's for sure.
We've got a good coach here, we've got a good squad. He's like a little brother to me, so I just try to give him... don't give him advice, he's a big boy, he can make his own decisions.
The Cowboys fighting for respect too, but will have star prop Jordan McLean back to face the Knights. And Penrith halfback Nathan Cleary has starred in a win over Bennett's Bunnies, despite being in hospital on a drip a day earlier. Cleary battled infection all week, while Bennett battled the media, his press conference lasting just 75 seconds.
Did you have trouble with the Sid Bennings one?
At one stage was his knee? At one stage?
Oh, he's okay.
He's okay.
I wasn't watching Nathan Cleary, to be honest with you. You done?
Chris Garrett, 7 News.
A Storm home game in Sydney against the Kiwi side relocated to Australia, such as the COVID chaos. Still, the Warriors, with a new coach, adapted best in the opening exchanges tonight, twice denied tries. Melbourne struggled early, playmaker Cameron Munster picking up a leg injury. Christian Welch sent to the head bin after a heavy collision with Blair, but Bellamy's men thrive in adversity, and this came after 12 minutes.
Now Momirovski! He slips and he still gets there!
The try against the run of play, this wasn't. The lead extended to 10-0 as Vunivalu turned on the afterburners. As you've heard, Australian football emerged from months of gloom with the most stunning news. The FIFA Women's World Cup will be staged down under in 2023. The joint Australia-New Zealand bid successful despite England supporting our rivals, Colombia. Expect these images to be replayed for the next 3 years.
Australia.
It's huge for us. Obviously, women's sport has made huge steps in the last couple of years, and I think, in such a hard time, I think this has really shown what we are capable of.
And from the game's superstar,
we did it! Come on!
Back flipping on the Opera House.
Obviously, this is a dream come true to be able to have a Women's World Cup in our backyard.
The tournament should lure 1 billion viewers and 1.5 million spectators. The drought's over and it's doubtful Liverpool fans will sleep for days. The Reds are Premier League champions, their 19th top division title and their first since 1990. It was confirmed when Chelsea beat Man City 2-1 this morning.
It's unbelievable. It's much more than I ever thought what would be possible. Becoming chairman with this club is absolutely incredible.
It's the earliest the championship has been awarded, with 7 games left. The Lions have let go a secret to their brilliant start post the virus delay.
Let's pick up where we left off from last year. I'm ready to go. Are you?
Ryan Lester is the glue at the Gabba. He organised daily motivational videos, and the gym used by skipper Dane Zorko was under Lester's house.
We create an environment where guys want to do the work themselves. It's not a matter of someone watching over their shoulder.
Ryan Lester's been phenomenal for us. He's the first one to be there for you when things are hard, and he's the first one to give you a pat on the back when you're going well.
He'll be just as important against Adelaide Sunday afternoon. The resurgent Suns host Freo tomorrow night, both games on the screens of 7. Jeff Horn says he's hurt after watching 7 News reveal his trainer of 6 years had defected to bitter rival Tim Zoo's camp, revealing Jeff's secrets. Mild-mannered Horn is shocked Dundee Kim's now embedded with Zoo, even imitating Jeff in training.
It looked like he was trying to show what my moves are, and I guess over 6 years, and then to be doing that to my next opponent, it's pretty hard to see.
I think that's a very low act, honestly. I do. It's not what friends do. I don't rate him as a boxing coach at all.
And Jason Maloney has avenged his twin brother's loss, dominating Leonardo Baez in Las Vegas today. His TKO was a relief after his twin Andrew lost his world title 2 days ago.
I've put in a lot of hard work and made so many sacrifices, but I just want this so bad, and nothing was going to stop me tonight.
Jason's poised for a bantamweight world title shot. And the supercars are about to roar back into action with a season that's been heavily COVID modified and race crews that have been cut back to ensure social distancing.
I think it's going to mix up the racing quite a bit. Supercars have been pretty brave with changing the formats. You know, everyone's having to do a lot more jobs than what they normally would, so there's going to be mistakes made.
Reigning champ Scott McLaughlin's fitness regime has helped him lose 10 kilos. There'll be 3 sprint races over the weekend at Sydney Motorsport Park. That ends a hectic day in sport.
You're always busy. All right.
A lot of good news.
Yeah, it's great news, isn't it? All right, thank you, Pat. If someone offered to pay your mortgage for a year, you'd probably ask, what's the catch? But one Brisbane developer says there is none, offering the deal to new buyers for properties which aren't eligible for the new government grants.
3 towers, one standing 33 storeys high. Brisbane One apartments are new, but were built last year, so buyers aren't eligible for the government's $25,000 home builder grant. To make up for it, developers are offering to pay the first year of mortgage for those who buy before June 30.
For example, a $650,000 apartment is going to provide a saving of around $22,000 to a particular buyer.
So it's a very competitive landscape and you want to stand out from the pack. So we are seeing some developers offering incentives to try and attract that all-important buyer.
In Rochdale, the same developer is selling house and land packages for over $750,000, meaning buyers again don't qualify for the home builder's grant. Instead, they're offering to pay your stamp duty.
And we want to provide that extra value to the buyers in the market, knowing that unfortunately they won't be able to get the builder grant at those price points.
And the deals are proving popular. Here at Maison in Rochdale, all 71 lots in the first release sold in just 3 weeks.
But the REIQ warns not to get distracted by sweeteners and always read the fine print.
Marketing is a great way of getting people's attention, but it's always important that you understand what you are buying and what sorts of terms are attached to that.
Tristan Boreas, 7 News.
Nearly $500,000 in cash buried in a Gold Coast backyard. Next, a new twist in the fight on who can claim it.
Just looking for a shovel here, but I'll tell you what, it's going to be a very cool start again tomorrow. Will some showers move in? Details after the break.
The rear-wheel drive Kia Stinger. It took 7 years to create and 4.9 seconds to understand why.
There are 2 ways to make a mattress. The cheap way, one piece, single-sided with attached pillow top made out of foam. Yes, Mr. Harvey, they should be 50% off. The best way, 2-piece, double-sided, removable pillow top with thousands of microcoils and a 5-year comfort promise. Sorry, Mr. Harvey, we make them, you don't.
The Bellissimo mattress, made like no other mattress. Making mattresses, nobody makes a better mattress. Nobody.
It's time to restart our economy. So as we set more tables, turn on more lights and open more doors to get our economy back on track, we need to make sure that when we all open, we all stay open. And that means putting in place a plan that'll keep you, your staff and your customers COVID safe. So don't just get open, stay open with a COVID safe plan. For information and tools, visit australia.gov.au. Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
Anaconda's Super Stock Take Sale ends Sunday. Ugly Stick Tackle Rats Kid Spin Combo, 30% off, now only $39.99. All fishing shirts now half price. Head in store or shop online at anacondastores.com.
Anaconda!
A little bit of chili, a little bit of turmeric. Classic hits to carry you through the night.
Something Sarah loves.
I didn't check the gas.
Don't worry about it. I ordered it yesterday. It's out the front now. Hi, Gareth.
For next day LPG delivery. It's local gas. Call 133 LPG or go online now for an instant quote and a great price.
While everybody else was aging, I was getting younger.
The Academy Award-winning masterpiece, The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, tonight on 7.
Derelict dump transformed to sustainable and spectacular.
Wow, this is awesome.
How this tiny block delivers space.
Where are we going?
Energy savings and so many surprises.
You will not believe what they've done with this house.
Your sneak peek inside on New Better Homes. Next up on 7.
This weather report brought to you by your local Origin LPG team.
Today's main story is now, and a major spy agency investigation is underway. Police have raided the home of a Labor MP, hunting for links to the Chinese government. Bain Capital has struck a deal agreeing to buy Virgin Australia and keep its headquarters in Brisbane. And a special task force has been deployed across Australia, ensuring COVID safety rules are met to prevent a second outbreak.
A new battleground could form from a backyard burial on the Gold Coast to the highest court in Queensland. A judge ruling today Queensland Supreme Court has the power to decide who is the rightful owner of nearly $500,000.
It's a $488,000 cash fine playing out in court. Old $100 notes bundled and buried beneath a waterfront Runaway Bay block of land. It was discovered, packed tightly and sealed in containers in October last year. There are 5 hopeful players, including the 2 tradies who found it, a developer and Raymond Ma, who claims the money belonged to his late father Stephen, a restaurant owner who distrusted banks. DNA testing on the rubber seals of the packing failed to identify the owner. Today's ruling followed an application by police for a magistrate to settle the dispute. A Supreme Court judge disagreed.
It's really the ball's in the court of the parties to relist the matter for further directions and further legal argument.
The 5th contender, and arguably the most contentious in this finders-keepers battle, is this man, David Timpson.
I'm pretty sure there was some money there, maybe.
He is yet to formally state his claim. Each player is waiting to hear why he believes he's the rightful owner.
You have to make sure that all reasonable and honest attempts at finding the true owner have been made.
Ultimately, it will be up to a court to decide who gets this treasure trove. Jessica Mummy, 7 News.
I know whose money it isn't. Here's Paul Burt.
Yeah, you got it. Hello, everybody. I hope you're having a wonderful end of the working week. I want to show you some amazing photos. Have a look at these here. They were sent in this morning by Glenn Anderson off the Gold Coast. A couple of stunning shots there, beautiful sunrise and also a shelf cloud. Glenn, thank you very much for sending that through to us. Absolutely gorgeous starts and ends to the days at this minute. Today, top of 20 to 21 degrees across the coast, 22 for the Gold Coast and 23 in the city. Satellite shows a large high in the far south, directing up a firm southeast trade up the east coast. Low in the Tasman's pushing a new groundswell our way. That'll reach us tomorrow through to Sunday, Monday. A few coastal showers moving in as well, a little bit of moisture. Another cold front in the far southeastern parts of the country is moving to the east, bringing more cold weather to the southern majors over the coming week. Around the nation, clear and 0 to 12 for Canberra, 11 to 17 and sunny for Sydney, 4 to 13 for Hobart, Melbourne 5 to 13. Back to the tropics, exactly that, warm and 26 degrees for Cairns, 10 to 23 for Mackay, clear skies for Mount Isa. Further south now, clear and -2 for Roma, partly cloudy on the range at Toowoomba, 5 to 18. Good evening to everybody up there, 12 to 23 for Gladstone, A late shower for Hervey Bay, 13 to 22. Back home, stiff southeasterly trades increasing throughout the day, 9 to 22. Partly cloudy before a late shower on the Gold Coast, 12 to 21. Late showers also Sunshine Coast, 8 to 22, and some sun in Logan. Bodie, south-southwest winds turning southeast, 15 to 20 knots. Seas a metre on the bay, swells a little bit bigger. City, 10 to 23. Some patchy cloud throughout the day. Looking okay, actually. A little bit of, again, showers grazing the coast in the afternoon. Ahead, partly cloudy and 21 for Sunday, 22 Monday, 10 to 22 also Tuesday. Ipswich, partly cloudy and 7 to 22 Sunday, 6 to 23 on Monday. Gold Coast, early showers Sunday, 11 to 21, partly cloudy on Monday, 9 to 22. And Sunshine Coast, keep the brolly handy for Sunday and Monday, top at 21. Clearing on Tuesday through to Friday. Friday, 25 degrees. Let's check the waterways for tomorrow. For the surfers, we will see a massive increase overnight, getting around waist to chest high, even a bit bigger on some of those points on that morning tide change. D-bar this morning, a couple little right-handers there. That southeasterly breeze will be up nice and early, so be aware of that. But nonetheless, for the water temp, it's 21 degrees, meaning for the swimmers, don't expect too much sun about, but of course, cool conditions. Boaties, get out early, get back early. Southeasterly winds, 15 to 20 knots by midday. Still some nice catches coming through. The boys on board Sea Probe charters getting a mixed bag of reefies from the 42s. Kingfish and snapper slowly showing up back inshore. It's going to be Flathead City for the next few days. Mooloolah River on the sunny coast and also Nerang on the Gold Coast. Thank you, Sports Tuition.
And thanks, Bertie. And that is all from us this Friday. Thanks very much for your company.
Updates throughout the evening, but for now, from all the team, have a good night.
Good night.